Hello everyone, I am Anurag Dutta, an undergraduate at the Computer Science and Engineering Department of Government College of Engineering and Textile Technology, Shirampur. Today I am going to present the topic of validation of minimal worst case time complexity by Stirling's, Ramanujan's and Mortis's approximation in the third International Conference of Emerging Technologies hosted by Jain College of Engineering, Belagavi, Karnataka, India, and in association with IEEE Bangalore and USA. So let's just discuss our paper from the introduction itself. So firstly, the paper itself is about sorting algorithms. So we will be discussing about those sorting algorithms in the introduction itself. So sorting algorithms are the mathematical set of instructions that causes an entangled unsorted data set to be arranged in desired order by its magnitude. So it is like sorting them in some ascending or descending order, and by making use of some comparison operator that may be like your greater than operator or less than operator. It depends upon the scenario that we want to deal with. So over a long time, researchers have been trying to develop some mathematical rigor that could cater to this purpose, but none have been greater than, I mean, linearismic time. So okay, so preliminary there were some algorithms like bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort that were able to sort the data or the arrange them in some ascending or descending order in quadratic time. But later on, via some improvisations, there came certain algorithms like merge sort, select, merge sort, then came quick sort, heap sort that were able to sort in linearismic time. So that is logarithmic time combined with linear time multiplicatively. So in this paper, we will be seeing that how we can develop a sorting algorithm that, I mean, is it even possible to get a sorting algorithm that is much more faster than linearismic time? So we will see all those things in the paper. So as the title of the paper suggested that we will be making use of some approximations. So yeah, we will be making use of some approximations of the general factorial. So firstly, the approximation which we will be making use of is the Stirling's approximation. So it is the very well-known approximation of the general factorial. It was okay. So even before James Stirling thought of it, Abraham de Moivre thought of a relatable but less precise approximation for the general factorial. He stated that the general factorial will be equal to, I mean, like it will be approximately equal to k times e raised to the power of minus n upon n plus half, where k will be some kind of real value. Later on, James Stirling proved that the value k that we are talking about in the De Moivre's formula is precisely equal to square root of 2 pi. So this was a very good thing by Stirling. So by notions of bound, we could say that the minimal or the minimality that the general factorial can attain will be some limit epsilon tends to 0, square root of 2 pi n upon e raised to the power of n, e raised to the power of 1 upon 12 n plus 1 plus epsilon. And okay, this epsilon just tends to 0. So the next slide is about Ramanujan's and Mortis's approximation. So in the book The Lost Notebook and the Unpublished Papers of Srinivasa Ramanujan, the famous mathematical genius, he gave some better approximation of gamma of 1 plus x. Okay, so that gamma of 1 plus x is nothing but the general factorial itself. So we could say that the gamma of 1 plus x will be approximately equal to square root of pi x upon e raised to the power of x, sixth root of 8x cube plus 4x square plus x plus theta x upon 30. Now theta x will be lying between 3 upon 10 and 1, and as x tends to infinite, we could say that the theta x will be tending to 1. So it's quite obvious from the equation itself. So again, by notion of bounds, we could say that the minimality that this factorial or the n factorial or the general factorial can attain will be limit epsilon tends to 0, square root of pi n upon e raised to the power of n, then 6 root of 8 n cube plus 4 n square plus n plus 1 minus 11 upon 8 n plus 79 upon 112 n square upon 30 plus epsilon. So in this slide, we will be talking about the Mortis's approximation. So okay, so Numerous similar works have been performed on such approximation. Christian Mortisi, in his paper, An Improvement of the Ramanujan's Formula for Approximation of Euler Gamma Function, showed that the the value of gamma of 1 plus x, that is the general factorial value, will be lying between square root of pi x upon e raised to the power of x, 6 root of 8x cube plus 4x square plus x plus 1 upon 30 minus 10 upon 240x, and square root of pi x upon e raised to the power of x, 6 root of 8x cube plus 4x square plus x plus 1 upon 30 minus 11 upon 240x. So this is the bounds that the general factorial is supposed to stay within. So by extending via the notion of bounds, we could say that the minimal case that or the minimality of the general factorial will be limit epsilon tends to 0, square root of pi n upon e raised to the power of n, 6 root of 8 n cube plus 4 n square plus n plus 1 upon 30 minus 11 upon 240 n plus epsilon. Now again this epsilon will nearly tend to 0, so it is having very very negligible interest. So, okay, in this slide we will be talking about sorting a bit. In this slide we will be trying to see sorting in terms of searching. So, okay, let's see in this slide. So, as mentioned in the introduction, it is the operation that arranges data elements in increasing or decreasing order of its magnitude. So, let us think sorting in terms of searching. So, basically, when we are sorting a data set, so let's say we want to, let's say the original place of the ith element in this data set will be jth position. So the, I mean, after sorting, the element that is present in the ith position will eventually move to the jth position. So to find that jth position, uh, the ith element will have to search for n places. Likewise, the next element will have to search for n minus 1 places, and it goes on with further decrementation. So it will be continuous decrementation. So the total time that it will be taking will be log base 2 of n plus log base 2 of n minus 1 plus log base 2 of n minus 3, plus it will go up to log base 2 of 1. So if we sum all of them up, so we will get that the time will be equal to log base 2 of n factorial. Now, in the next slide onwards, we will be implementing the approximations of n factorial and we'll try to prove the minimality that the sorting algorithms could reach. So when we apply the Stirling's approximation, we will get something like this. Okay, we will get something like this. So it's basically the approximation of the n factorial given by Stirling that we have been plugged into this state of n factorial. So the plot that we will be having in this case will be like this. So it's similar to the n factorial plot. By making use of the Ramanujan's approximation, we will get minimal time complexity like this. And again, the path that it will be following will be similar to the previous one only thing. And by making use of Mortisier approximation, we will get something like this, and the curve is again the same. So yeah. So, okay. In this slide, we will be taking comparative analysis of the time complexities that have been devised using these approximations. And it has been represented pictorially in this plot. So, okay, let me zoom into this plot. So, as we can see, all of them tend to merge up from one. So, after one, they get tend to merge up and finally they surge. Okay. So, yeah. So, in any of the data set, we can't have a like can't have a cardinality that will be less than 1. Okay, so it's very obvious that the minimal cardinality that any data set in sorting could have will be some 1. So we can say that after 1, the values of all of these approximate the value of the sorting that one can reach by making use of any of these approximations will be same. Nearly they are getting same and they get surged up in same extent. So we can say that all of them will be nearly equal to linear time. So the conclusion that we can draw from this paper is that The time obtained by all the three above approximations are very close to the real value, which I mentioned in the previous slide itself. All the complexities in the dimension of the time can be asymptotically made equal to logarithmic time, where n is the cardinality of the dataset. Now, some of the applications and future scope of enhancement of this research work are. So, okay, it has been proven with strong mathematical rigor that the minimal time complexity that a sorting algorithm could reach to is nlogn without tampering the general architecture of the microprocessor. But we can do that. I mean, we can play with the general microprocessor and can devise it in such a way that we will get a better sorting time. So we can do that, like parallel processing. um, we can do all sorts of things, so that will give us a better time complexity, I mean, relatively. Now, while we were thinking sorting in terms of searching algorithms, so we made use of binary search algorithm, but we could also make use of some other search algorithm like interpolation search, jump search. So that would cater well to this purpose. So we can make use of that, and hopefully that will give us a better time complexity. So that was the conclusion from the paper. So these are the references which have been mm, used for generating this paper. And okay, so thank you and have a nice day.